Alright, first one. Hello, welcome back to This Heat Wave Will Not End. I don't like it. It's bad. I'm Del Salvador. This is the Birthday Massacre Walking with Strangers, and this is an objectively good thing. This here is a good thing, objectively. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why right now. So, the Birthday Massacre came around in the middle 2000s when the whole goth thing was, at its peak, and everyone was, all about that kind of style and aesthetic. And when that whole scene ended, all the bands and trends and all that kind of died with it, really regrettably so, for people like the Birthday Massacre, where they actually are still releasing albums, countless good songs, and they have their own sound despite all the other stuff in that scene. And even within that scene, they stood out pretty much. And I don't know why people don't talk about it anymore. I really don't know why people don't talk about them. I really don't. Because even today, it sounds fresh. They have a very unique sound, kind of like, Tool has their own sound, and Korn has their own sound, and, Pink Floyd has their own sound, and all these people have their own sounds. They also have their own sound. And it's a mix of, you could say, like, metal, alternative metal, new metal, anything like that, but, that kind of sound, very, nothing like 7-minute thrash songs, just, for commercial metal, I guess you could say, mixed with these very synthwave elements, a lot of the 80s-ness. In fact, like, almost all of their inspirations are people like The Cure and all these bands like Depeche Mode from the 80s and a bit of the 90s who are very, synth-based. And it is a very, very unique mix and very unique sound. If you can think of the color purple and black, like this, as a sound, which sounds weird, exactly that. They are, at times, very mystical, but also very, like, sinister. They're kind of cute, evil, light, dark, all that kind of stuff. They're very, like, it sounds like the color purple. It sounds like black and purple. And this album right here, objectively their best. And so on this album, the first half is a lot more upbeat songs. There are a lot more driving. There's a lot more to them, a lot more progressions, a lot more things happening. And what makes this band, what makes the whole thing, are the synths and the lead singer's vocals. And they're female vocals, and a lot of times in metal, it's not really a common thing. And it really, really aids them in their whole sonic palette stuff. And if you want to look at like the tracks and stuff, track 1, which I forget what it's called. Oh boy, starting off great. Kill the Lights. I don't know why I forgot about that. I love this album to death. Kill the Lights. That's another thing. Every single song on this album is a very different mood, a very different vibe, but they all kind of go together very seamlessly, kind of like Tool. It's like all the songs kind of sound like Tool. Most of them are very different sounding, all kind of go together. Same kind of thing. Kill the Lights, very good opener, very driving. The second song, Goodnight, is a little bit, at least instrumentally, a little bit more new metal-ish in the synths and the patterns and stuff. Kind of reminds me of something like Linkin Park would do a little bit, depending on like your view on it, but it has that kind of that sound and the rhythmic patterns of the synths, but no rapping, just all beautifully sung vocals. And the third track, Falling Down, again really good, kind of for some reason has like an overture feel. It's hard to explain, but you listen to it, and at this point the album, you kind of get what I mean. It just continues that driving force. Again, kind of different sound. Then you have Unfamiliar, which is a lot more calm. The chorus is very, very good. It opens up, as people would say, and it's just really good. It's hard to explain why. In my OSB, it's my first time talking on a camera, but usually I can talk for hours about literally anything and whatever. And I can't really stop. This has to be one take too, so whatever. Anyways, so Red Stars, next track, very heavy, but very good too. Very ominous. But then the verses are a lot more, less ominous, more ethereal and stuff. Looking Glass, very, very good, so good. It's a lot more. I'd say it's very single, like it's very commercial, very, it's not like you could get away with putting this in a lot in the mix a lot of other songs from other bands, and it wouldn't seem too like out of place. Like this, I wouldn't say this is the best example of their sound, but it's very like if you want to get someone into them, this is a pretty okay song to do that if they don't necessarily like 80s stuff and they're all about like really good riffs, really raw riffs. Then this is a good one to start people off with. At least I think the production on this album, Guitar Dimension, is really amazing, and I think that kind of it was in the song makes the riff, especially when the first chorus ends. Like just from how it's produced, how chunky, how crisp it is, really makes it that much better. And then the next song, Science, also really good. And this is the other half of the album. This is the last 6 of 12. And now they're a lot less driving, and the first half's kind of setting up this half. And basically, they're a lot more chill, at least most of them. And this is also where there's a couple songs here and there, not a lot, but like 1 or 2, kind of slip a little bit. Science is very good. I honestly forget how it sounds, but it is very good. It is very good. Remember Me is, it's a good song. I quite like it. It's just that the main melody line, like particularly in the vocals, isn't that great. It could be better. And I think that's the one thing that's holding this song back. That's like the one thing. Other like if that vocal melody, that main melody was a bit more thought out, a bit better, this would be a really, really amazing track with great atmosphere, all kind of stuff. To Die For kind of picks up a little bit more. It's a little bit more it's a bit more amping, but not in like a rock or metal way as the first half is. This is more, it's more the synths, or the bassy synths that are giving it like a very pulsing groove, and it's really good. Walking with Strangers, the title track, it's alright. It's okay. It's not the best song on this album. I'd say the first half is flawless. Every single song in the first half, from Kill the Lights all the way to Looking Glass, all those 6 are really, really, really good. And then the last 6, it's a little spotted, but there's still good stuff in there. Weekend, pretty cool song, pretty cool. The last track, Movie, is very nice. It's very good. It's a nice closer. It kind of like, it's relaxing. It's very ethereal. This is one of the more ethereal songs, and it's a lot slower. I feel like it'd be a lot better if the drums would have more reverb, because the track starts with this big open feel. It's a very grandiose feel, and the drums are very like, not much reverb, very dry. They sound good, but they don't really fit the actual rest of the sonic palette and the landscape that they're building. And the rest of it is really, really good. It's just the drums, at least in the beginning, don't exactly match it, but it's still good. It's still a good song. It's very ethereal. Let's say this whole album's kind of like a journey, like most things are, right? It's like lifting you up, and the whole thing's like really, really intense. And this kind of track kind of like lays you down, kind of pats your head, puts a blanket on, like, all right, this is over, and it's very lulling. It's very calming. Like I kind of felt myself, not falling asleep, but like the hype was gone. It was all calm, collected, and really cool. It was really good. It was a nice finisher. The whole album was really good. And if I were to give it a score, I'd probably say like 8 out of 10. I'd say light 8, strong 8, light 8. It's an 8. It's really good though. I feel like it is. And I know I'm sounding like a broken record. I'm not trying to. It's just, again, one take. I'm trying to fill out the space. I'll get the hang of this eventually. At least I hope I do. And that's it. I didn't plan an outro. I'm gonna get back to the heat wave, and I'll see you in the next video. So cool.